In this video, I'm going to show you how to make an intro for your YouTube videos because it's actually pretty simple and sometimes you just need to have some kind of guideline. So So the intro that you just saw is pretty new here on the channel if you haven't been here before, and if this is your first time watching me, you might want to consider hitting that subscribe button because that'd be appreciated. That intro took me well over 8 hours to do from start to finish. So I'm not going to show you how to do exactly that because I used a bunch of different plugins as well, but I'm going to show you how to make an intro that is similar to it with the same kind of techniques that I used when I made that. So the first thing that you want to do in Final Cut Pro is to create a new project, and you can choose the different resolutions that you want to have your intro in. You can go 4K if you want to make sure to have it future proof if you may, or you can go totally bananas and choose 8K. But I'm going to do this tutorial in 1080p because I want my computer to survive and not die while I'm recording this tutorial. So yeah. So to get started with the intro, we're just gonna drag a clip down to the timeline and then we're gonna hit delete. So it creates this black, I don't know what you call it, but black bar. And then we're gonna choose B and cut it right here and backspace to delete that one. One of the most recognizable things for your intro is going to be the music that you use for that intro. So I do recommend to choose a piece of music that you really like and feel you know what, this is me as a person. I really like this song. I want to have that in my video from now on into the future. And it also has to be some kind of appealing to your audience as well, because they are the ones that will watch your videos. In my case, I went to the website that is called Audio Jungle, and then I searched for a bunch of different logo stings or idents or what they are called. But then I found one that I felt you know what, this is something that I really want to have in my intro. And then I bought that, I paid for it, and then now I'm using it in my intro. But in this case, we're gonna use a song that I found on Artlist. As you can see on the music file, I have put a purple marking on it, and the reason that it's there is because that is an indication of that is where I want the intro to start. That is where I want the first scene to take place because it is on a beat. And I highly recommend you to edit an intro to the beat because it's going to be so much more fluid when you watch that back. When you want to find the different beats in the music that you have, one thing that is really simple to do is to see all these spikes that you can see on the waveform. So we got one beat here on the first side, and then we got one beat right here. So we're just gonna mark the audio track and then hit M to set a marker. Yeah, all right, so we got all the different markers on the beat, and that is going to be really good to when we're going to apply our scenes and transitions. So I'm going to use a couple of scenes from a vlog episode that I made this summer and make that our intro. So we're going to mark that and drag it to our timeline and make sure that it starts on the marker. And if you don't have the magnetic timeline on, then it's not gonna snap to the marker, but if you have it on just by hitting N, then it's gonna snap to the marker. I wanna make sure that the intro doesn't feel like it's dragged out. So we wanna have a lot of different scenes crammed into those 10 or 6 seconds that we got. I'm just gonna finish all the cuts really quick so that we got something that fits to the music. Okay, so we got all the clips cut to the beat of the music that we want to have. So what you want to do now is that you want to mark out all these clips, and then we're going to hit Command G to create a storyline for all those clips, because that allows us to create transitions with those clips in mind without having to worry that the storyline is going to be longer or shorter or the clips are going to be different. So we're going to head over to the Transitions tab, which is going to be over here on the right. So we're gonna go to the Lights tab, and then we're gonna drag the bloom transition to the beginning of our clip, right here. And then we're gonna drag out the transition so that it just matches on the purple like marker that we set on the audio track. And the reason for that is because then the clip is starting to be shown on the beat. To the next clip, I think we're gonna add in the flash. And yeah, it looks kind of cool. And we can take the light noise. And again, you want to make sure that the cross on the transition hits the marker that we set up so that it like perfectly aligns, because then the clip is going to end on the marker and the transition is not going to be shown. Okay, so this is what we've got so far. I actually do think that looks pretty cool already, but we're gonna do a couple more tweaks to get that professional touch to it. So we're gonna go up to this tab right here, and then we're gonna go down to generators, and then we're gonna choose a custom generator, and then we're gonna drag this and place it above our storyline, and then we're gonna cut it like right here because we don't want it to continue afterwards. So now you can't see anything off the clip, and that is because this is basically a black layer that's lying on top of our clips. So what we want to do is mark that layer and then go up to the right hand side and then choose opacity and drag it down to like 85. Looks kind of good because then it reduces the opacity of our clips so that if we were to put any text on here, it's going to be more focused on the text rather than the clips that is lying below. So we're going to go to the titles panel, and then we're going to choose a basic title, and we're going to drag this down, and then we're going to make sure that it lands on the first marker, and then we're going to cut this at the second marker as well, and then we're going to cut it at the fourth marker, and then we're going to cut it at the sixth marker, and then we're going to cut it at the seventh marker as well. So maybe we're gonna name the first text tutorials. I'm gonna choose the text Bebas new, neue, and then we're gonna increase the size and drag out the tracking so that we separate the letters from each other. And then we're gonna jump to the next one, and then we're gonna write vlogs, choose the same text, increase the size, tracking slightly, and then we're gonna jump to the next filmmaking, change the text, increase the size. So I'm gonna mark these three texts, and then I'm gonna hit Command G to create another storyline up here above our main storyline. And the reason that we created this storyline is because now we can add transitions to our text as well, and that is gonna like make our intro look like slightly more professional. So now we're going to go to the transitions tab here on the right, and then we're going to go to lights, and then we're going to choose bloom, and we're going to drag this over to the first word, which is tutorials. And then we're going to drag this down slightly to like 12/100ths of a second. Do you say it like that? I think you do. And for the second transition, I think we can go with some kind of like zoom. So we're gonna jump up to the blurs, and we're gonna choose the zoom and pan. And then we're gonna like drag this down. And for the transition for the last word, we can choose the flash so that it matches with our layer below. We're just gonna make this a little bit shorter, and there we go. I think that looks kind of good. So to make the text feel a little bit more natural and a little bit more dynamic, if you may, we're gonna keyframe the scale of the text as well. So we're gonna mark all the three text layers that we got, including the transitions that we got in our storyline, and we're gonna jump to the beginning, and then we're gonna choose scale up here on the right, and then we're gonna set it to like start out at 80 and then move all the way till the end, and then we're gonna set 100 on the keyframe so that when we play it back, you can see that the text is increasing as well, and it feels more alive. And now that we come to like the end of the intro, we're gonna add in our logo, and then we're gonna drag this under our storyline that we got, and we're gonna drag down the scale of this. And we also want to make sure that we keyframe this as well so that we get a slight increase of the scale when the end scene is shown, or end frame or hero shot of the logo is shown. So I'm gonna mark that, and then I'm gonna hit scale keyframe, and then we're gonna move forward all the way till the end of the audio clip, and then we're gonna set another keyframe, and we're gonna hit this at 52. So play that back, you can see the logo is increasing, which is dope. So when it comes to transitions, there's a bunch of different transition packs that you can play around with, that you can buy that you can use in your videos. If there is one that I highly recommend, it's gonna be this one that you can find on Video Hive, and I'm gonna put a link to it down below. It's not sponsored or anything, I just bought it myself and I really dig it. It's great if you are having a YouTube channel and if you want to make your videos look like a little bit more professional really fast. To finish this off, I'm just gonna add in some slight sound effects so that we get another level of depth onto our intro, and here's the final result. So I really hope that you learned something from this video and that you found it interesting, and if you did, please do give it a thumbs up because it does make a huge difference, so thank you so much for that. And if you haven't subscribed yet, that'd be highly appreciated. Gonna be right down here, and Peter from Sweden out. Oh.